Evening, evening, evening. That's the first time I've ever said those words in order like that. Doesn't sound right, doesn't roll off the tongue. How's everybody doing? Welcome back, or welcome, depending on whether you're new here or not, to the Spurs Talk Show for episode 56, 57 of Tottenham Walks with me, Sean Butler, and co-anchor Bugsy Malone. Short video today. I just want to start off by saying smash the like, subscribe and notification bell if you haven't already. I really appreciate it. Helps the algorithm find more people to show my thoughts to. And I really appreciate everyone who's been engaging and hanging around on the channel recently. I hope you're all happy, healthy and doing the things that you love with the people that you love doing them with. Ladies and gentlemen, I was going to spend so much time this week talking about, or over the last couple of days, talking about the Arsenal game, because there's so much to break down about it. But you know what? Time waits for no man. My Wi-Fi has been a disaster for over a month now. And yesterday I tried to do a live stream where I was going to go through everything with the people that were watching, and it collapsed on me. So apologies for the disruption to your regular broadcasting from this channel. Until I can get it fixed, I think I'm going to have to just stick with the Tottenham Walks, as disappointing and as frustrating as that is. Also, it's now Monday night, and you know what, we've got a game in 24 hours that's super important. It's massive. Against Frankfurt, away in Germany. A tough game. And so, as much as I'd love to reflect on the calamity and the disaster that was the Arsenal game, I guess we have to move on, right? We have to look forward. And all I would say about it is, you know, it's obviously a disaster. It's obviously disappointing, frustrating, heartbreaking when you go to your arch rivals and you once again put in, you know, that performance. And I think there has to be, you know, some level of acknowledgement about the psychology, the barrier that Tottenham players have when we go to, not many, but two particular grounds every year, the Emirates and Stamford Bridge. You know, we have World Cup winners in our team, we have Copa America winners, we have Champions League winners, we have a whole bunch of finalists, we've got a bunch of people that have won cups in various competitions around the world, and as individuals, they're all champions, right, in the fact that they've got to where they've got to in their career. But as a team, when they pull on the Tottenham shirt, for some reason, we can go to places like Manchester City or Liverpool and put in shifts and brings out the best in each and every one of them as individuals and as a team. But we go to Arsenal year in, year out, and the same with Chelsea, and we fall apart. It's so disappointing. I'm not a psychologist, so I don't understand what it is or why those things happen, but it is what it is. It is what it is. What I would say, guys, is the fallout from it. You know, I've seen on Twitter and on channels around the community, you know, again, the conversation around allocation of blame. Some people say it's Daniel Levy's fault. Some people are saying it's Enix's fault. Usually the same people. Some people are saying it's the players not turning up. Some people would say, well, the injuries, the referee, Conte, formation, tactics, whatever, right? And again, in my opinion, it's never one nor the other. It's always a subtle shade of grey. There's an allocation pie of accountability for performances like that. And each category gets a slice of it. How big or how small that slice is, it depends on your personal take. But you know, if anybody thinks that accountability for the way that Tottenham are playing this season should only get pushed in one direction, I think that they have a bias, and they think that they're letting that blinkered vision cloud reasonable judgment. But it's okay. Everyone's entitled to their opinions. I've got no problem with however people feel. I just find it odd that people would not recognise that there's always more than one reason for anything that happens. And Tottenham are playing rubbish, right? But anybody that's on the Conte out thing, just for what it's worth, like, there's always, you go on Twitter, every opinion is mentioned by somebody at some point, right? Every opinion is represented. Some of them reasonable, a lot of them unreasonable. But people that are Conte out is, if they legitimately are Conte out, they want Conte to leave the club, then they're, in my opinion, throwing the baby out with the bathwater. They're letting a few poor performances and a disappointment result against our rivals cloud their better judgment, and it's very reactionary and, in my opinion, just crazy. But I don't want people to think that you're not allowed to have an opinion about Conte and be frustrated with his lack of adaptability, his over-predictability, and think that if I say that, I'm going to be accused of being Conte out and therefore an idiot. Like, there's no correlation to that at all. You can have an opinion about somebody that's employed by the club that you support and finance, and not need them to leave the club because they're not doing exactly what you want them to do. You can ask for them to adapt, to be open-minded to other concepts and ideas. And as fans, that's your right and your privilege, and I think also your responsibility. So be careful about those narratives out there that if you're just frustrated, then you're going to get pigeonholed into the extremes of the whatever out narratives that emerge, and it's not true. You can be a very reasonable person with ideas that are different to the guy at the top. It's okay. It's okay. Anyway, guys, let's move on from that, frustration. Look forward. All we can do is look forward, move forward. And we've got a massive game tomorrow night at Frankfurt. And I'll be honest with you guys, straight up, in my opinion, it's just my opinion, I don't think you're going to see anything better. I think the way that Frankfurt play, two teams that are probably going to go 3-4-3 again, two teams that like the other team to have the ball. I think it's going to be a bit of a chess match, and I think it's going to be a lot of passing around the back, trying to draw people out from either team, and like a game of slow chicken. I think it's going to be boring. I think it'll be very tough. They've got Kamada in the midfield, who just a really tricky, really creative player, who could cause us a whole lot of problems. I think he scored like five or six goals this season already and got a few assists, and I think whatever his ratio of goals to assists are reversed, I think, for their striker Moani, who's got more assists than he has goals. But they're not a great team. They're certainly not the team they were that won the Europa League last year. They got rid of Kostic for peanuts. A player that we all wanted, most people wanted at Tottenham. He went to Juve, I think, for like 12 million. But they only spent 22 million over the summer, and I think that's net spend. And look, they're a good team, but not a great team. But Tottenham playing away from home, I don't know. It's going to be, come on, Bugs, we're going back. Dinner time. It's going to be a difficult night. We're trying to get over the Arsenal result, so there's going to be that ambition to react and to come out firing and try and right a few wrongs in the performance. But we're still carrying these injuries. Decky's not going to be a fit, and without him, his absence against Arsenal really amplified the lack of creativity that we don't have when he's not on the pitch. He can create something out of nothing like very few other players in the Tottenham team can. I don't think Richarlison, whilst I like Richarlison as a player, as a character, I don't think as a technician he's anything like as competent, comparable or confident in his displays thus far for Tottenham. Hopefully they'll improve. Now, I don't know if we're going to go to 3-5-2 or 3-4-3 or whatever. I am going to do a bit of a breakdown tomorrow for this before the game. I'm going to try and get it uploaded if I can in the morning to give you guys something to chew over that will be in a little bit more detail than this particular video. But look, Tottenham need to get a result. If we go there and lose, you know, and Sporting win away at Marseille, I think they might be at home against Marseille, I forget, then yeah, that's a massive gap that they're going to have over us, and then it will basically come down to Tottenham and Frankfurt for second place. And I think it will depend on who, because it's a head-to-head, I think it will depend on who scores more, or who wins by the greater margin in the two games against Frankfurt, to see who comes second. We could be in a lot of trouble. So going to Frankfurt and not losing is paramount. It's imperative. But obviously I do think at the same time that Tottenham are capable of putting in a good performance against a team that man for man we're better than. Once again, we do not have a squad that is representative of the level of football that I think we're playing at the moment. I think the squad that we have is capable of better football, and hopefully tomorrow will be a catalyst where we can see something that inspires us, motivates us, gets us excited. We can come away with a good result and then look forward to Brighton, because that game is only 4 or 5 days away as well. It's going to be a tough one though, guys. We don't do well away from home in Europe. I think the last 2 times from memory that we won in Europe was against Genk, I think, and I think also against one of the teams from Plovdiv in Bulgaria in like the Europa League qualifying campaign of like 2.5 seasons ago, something like that. Could be completely wrong on that, but it's been a while, and consequently, if you're reasonable and logical, you'd probably think that a draw would be a good result. But we don't want to be too pessimistic. We want to think that Tottenham can rise up and try and, like I say, right a few wrongs after that Arsenal performance, because Tottenham fans deserve better. Tottenham fans deserve to watch a team that they love, support and finance, and feel pride in the way that they play, the effort that they put in, and I don't think we felt that after Saturday. So hopefully tomorrow we've got something to cheer about. As I said though, for what it's worth, I think that the way the two teams are going to set up, it probably won't be a memorable game, and I think the odd goal will nick it. We'll talk tomorrow about my preferred team. If you've got any early thoughts, let me know. 3-4-3, 3-5-2, etc. Get them off your chest. But the most important thing to remember, guys, is that it's not unreasonable to have an opinion about the way the team is playing. It's okay. It's okay to feel that Conte can do better, that the players can do better, and that Daniel Levy didn't back your manager or Paratici in the summer. There's more than one thing can be responsible for an outcome. It usually is. Like, share and subscribe. I love you all. I'll see you tomorrow. And as always, guys, bye bye.